What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. So obviously the Rumble stage of MSI ended today. It actually ended just a couple of minutes ago. I'm recording this video pretty much right after the final Cloud9 versus Mad Lions game of the day. And today in this video, we're going to be talking about that Rumble stage. We're going to be talking about North America. We're going to be talking about Cloud9. And if you're one of the people that's in my comments like, oh my God, spoilers. Oh my God, don't talk about the games. We talk about League of Legends on this channel. We talk about the games. We talk about the stuff that's happened. So I guess this is your warning to click away now because we're going to be talking about the MSI Rumble stage, but also just kind of giving you a heads up that you probably don't want to follow my channel or anything anyway because, like I said, I make videos about the stuff that's going on in the League of Legends world. There's probably going to be a lot of spoilers and stuff. You know, the people that watch my content, we talk about the stuff that happens, not the stuff that happened yesterday, not the stuff that happened last week. We talk about the stuff that happened. So today we're going to be going over the tournament that was for Cloud9, the MSI that was and is no longer for Cloud9. This is the video where if you want to flame NA, if you want to flame Cloud9, get it all out in this video. Get it all out in this comment section. Hopefully we won't drag this on and on and on. If you want to say, you know, Cloud9 had a good tournament, if you want to cry because you're an NA fan or Cloud9 or fan or whatever, this is the comment section. Do it. We're getting it all out in this video. We're getting all of my thoughts and opinions on Cloud9, North America, all that stuff. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys have not already, please take a second and smash that like button. You know, us LCS fans, we need all the like, support, love that we can get right now. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Cloud9 might be out, but there's still some other awesome teams at MSI. We're going to be, you know, cheering on Mad Lions the rest of the way. We have off-season rumors. We have summer split right around the corner, all that great stuff. With that being said, let's get right into this. So, obviously, Cloud9 was eliminated in the final stage, the final day of the Rumble stage today. They were actually eliminated before they even got to play a single game today, which did suck. It made it a little bit, you know, more anticlimactic. All four of the teams were locked in. A lot of the games today ended up not mattering. That, you know, sucks for viewership. It sucks for hype, sucks for everything. But, you know, there's really nothing Riot can do about that. The only thing is, you know, Cloud9 beat PGG, and, you know, we wouldn't have been in this position. But that's not what happened. Mad Lions beat RNG. They secured their spot in the top four. We have the top four of Damwon, RNG, PSG Talon, and Mad Lions. I think most people, I mean, a lot of people did predict that as the top four, but I think most people did have Cloud9 in place of PSG Talon. So, you know, not too many surprises. But there was obviously some upsets. There was some craziness. There was games where certain teams looked unbeatable, you know, like RNG beating Damwon twice, but then dropping games to Cloud9, PSG, and Mad Lions doesn't make a ton of sense. Cloud9 dropping games to PGG when no one really even had a close game against PGG. You know, there was a lot of craziness. But as far as Cloud9, there's a lot of hot takes and stuff going on right now. There's so much different stuff to talk about. So first, I guess we can just review their actual games. Dating back to the beginning of MSI, obviously, group stage was a little bit up and down for them. They started out 1-2, a win over, or a loss to Damwon. Not many people expected a win there, so it was okay to kind of start out 0-1. But then that's when people started already worried about Cloud9 a little bit. A loss to Detonation Focus Me, and a win against Infinity had them 1-2 after the first week or the first round robin. Come back with a big win against Damwon, big win against Detonation Focus Me, big win against Infinity. All of a sudden, they're 4-2, going from 1-2 to 4-2. One of the only teams to go 3-0 in the second round robin. Things are looking up, but then we get to the Rumble stage. You know, they had their backs up against the wall in the group stage. They did the same thing in the Rumble stage, and unfortunately, this time it did not work out. They had, you know, some winnable games here and there. Yes, they could have beat RNG. They did not. They couldn't have beat Mad Lions. They got stomped in this Mad Lions game. This is a winnable game against Damwon, a winnable game against PSG Talon, and then they finally beat Pentanet to be 1-5 in a spot where, yeah, could they have been 4-1 in a different world? Yeah, maybe. Each game was winnable in its own certain ways, but they kept finding ways to lose. They kept doing some of the same mistakes. They kept having players underperforming. Overall, I think Perks had a very, very lackluster tournament. For the most expensive player on this roster, for the guy who's supposed to come over, save North America, get him to all these places, whatever. He had a chance to where if he would have popped off, if he would have been the best performing member of Cloud9, if he would have been absolutely smurfing in one of the best mids of this tournament, Cloud9 absolutely could have qualified for the knockout stages and honestly could have been a threat in those knockout stages as well. But the version of Perks we got was simply not that good. The stages, the bright lights seemed too big for Blabber. His champion pool was not great. He really never was able to pick up the meta junglers like Morgana and Rumble that really put Cloud9 in a weird kind of drafting situation as far as the mid jung, when mid was underperforming and jung was underperforming. Mid couldn't really find a champion to be super effective on, and jungle was basically an Udyr one trick, it really did hurt Cloud9. And yes, they were able to get lead some games. They were able to come back from being behind in some games, but there was always a play to here, there, that they weren't able to make. And you can say, yeah, they were able to consistently make games close, but I can also say they were able to consistently not close out games. They were able to consistently not be able to get themselves over the hump. And I know we keep having this conversation back and forth of, was this NA's best performance of all time? Now, to me, a team that got 3 wins total, with one of them being against Mad Lions in a game that neither team gave a shit about. So, basically, I'm saying they went 2-7, maybe even 2-6, because the PSG game didn't matter either. So I guess counting that one as a loss wouldn't be that fair. I don't consider that NA's greatest performance of all time in terms of gameplay, in terms of overall results, anything. And, yes, did they play some of the top teams close? Yes. Did they lose to Detonation Focus Me with the sub support? Did they lose to Pentanet when they looked absolutely close to nobody in this tournament at all? Yes. So there are definitely arguments to be made on both sides for Cloud9, but overall, this is a very, very disappointing result, a very, very disappointing finish. I did want to kind of talk about what some people have been saying after this. Humanoid did have an interview after one of his matches where he did give his thoughts and opinions on Cloud9, and I thought this was interesting and something to show.
Yeah, so I know that Cloud9 is probably going to get flamed a lot, but I think they only didn't advance because they got a lot of unlucky games. I think they're still pretty good, and they should advance. But it's best of ones, and it's not that many games. So if you get a few unlucky games, it's really hard to advance. And so I don't think they should be embarrassed, and I don't think they should be getting flamed.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously really, really kind words there from Humanoid, especially when there's been a lot of trash talk back and forth between NA and EU, between Perks and a lot of these players. For him to still, come out and be humble in victory and stuff and talk about that, yeah, Cloud9 should not be disappointed. They shouldn't have their heads down. And in a way, I agree with that. Yeah, there were some unlucky games. They are just best of ones. If you ran this back a bunch of times, is there some worlds where Cloud9 gets out of the group stage or gets out of the Rumble stage into the knockouts? Yes, absolutely. But my thing is, yes, Cloud9 played against DK close and even beat them once. They played against RNG close and even beat them once. But was Cloud9 a top 4 performing team at this tournament? Would you say that they outperformed PSG Talon? That they outperformed Mad Lions? That they deserve to be a top 4 team here? No, I would not say that. I think the 4 best teams, the 4 best performing teams in this Rumble stage qualified for the Rumble stage. So when I'm looking back to past performances of NA and stuff, yes, there's been times where NA has been clearly the 4th best region, maybe even sometimes the 3rd or 2nd best. There's been teams that have, taken series off top Korean teams, taken series off top Chinese teams. Yes, this Cloud9 team played some close games, and they won a game against M1. They won a game against RNG. They didn't even win a best of 5. They just won a couple of best of 1s. They also lost a couple of best of 1s to teams that they had no business losing to. There were some great moments, absolutely, but there were just as many awful moments. There were some very, very disgustingly bad plays that led Cloud9 to being in the positions that they were. And so, yeah, I get it saying that, yeah, they got unlucky sometimes, but also I think that their level of play just was not consistent enough. Their level of play was not good enough to be a top 4 team in this tournament. And that's just as simple as that. Again, could some things have broke their way and they won a couple more games, made it out? Yes, absolutely. But they consistently didn't. And at some point, I don't think it's a coincidence that those things consistently kept happening to them. I don't think it's unlucky, 6, 7 times. I think maybe there's a little bit of a trend there. And maybe this team has some flaws and faults that maybe people aren't willing or seeing or willing to talk about, which I think is a little bit interesting. Karji did go on to say that, don't flame C9. It's not for the memes, guys. They were playing above everyone's expectations, anyone's expectations. I think there's some debate there. Some people definitely had higher expectations for this team and stuff. And obviously people expected them to be able to get out of the group stage, stuff like that. Kelsey Mosier also said, in response to Cloud9, a lot of the analysts and stuff, she said, seriously though, I think it would actually tilt me to see everyone saying, oh, they had really close games and just made small mistakes because that's super unproductive. Exactly. People are just looking at scores in which, honestly, if you look at Cloud9's games, even these games that people are saying were close, that people are saying they should have won or whatever, Cloud9 does not have a gold lead in a majority of these games. They don't have a gold lead for a majority of the amount of time in these games. So just saying that they were close and winnable games, I think is very surface level analysis. And I really don't think it's very in-depth or really even deserves that much credence, honestly, which is why I think it's really weird, a lot of the discussions and stuff that are going on right now. But yes, Kelsey is saying a lot of the same things that I'm thinking and saying as well, that these discussions are very unproductive. Like, oh yeah, hey guys, those were really close. You just made a couple small mistakes. I mean, Sure, I guess you can say that, but again, they're making the same small mistakes, and not even small mistakes. Some of these are huge mistakes that like Blabber's making, that like Perch is making, that the team is making, and that they're making in multiple different games. As far as the Cloud9 players, obviously them talking about the tournament and everything, Blabber said that's the end of the tournament for us. Didn't do as well as we had hoped for, but I'm glad we were able to show up some of the games. Lots to learn from this tournament, and we're going to be stronger coming for Worlds. I definitely hope so. I think this will be an amazing experience for a guy like Blabber, for a guy like Fudge, obviously getting to do this. Perks, hopefully he's learned something from this. Hopefully he can level up. Hopefully he takes this as motivation, you know, being an NA team to not make it out of the Rumble stage when Perks is saying he's going to save NA, having one of the, result-wise, one of the worst NA performances ever. Hopefully that fires him up. Hopefully that gets him going. And yeah, hopefully Cloud9 can learn from this. Because yes, there were definitely some bright spots. Fudge was a beast in a lot of games where people didn't expect it. Vulcan was an absolute monster. You know, Sven had some big moments. And Blabber and Perks did too. But Blabber and Perks, you know, this is the MVP and the highest paid player, second highest paid player in the LCS. You do expect some more things from them. But yeah, hopefully they do bounce back for Worlds. I definitely hope that. As far as other things, we have Fudge saying that the tournament was fun, learned a lot, got to go back home now. Yeah, it sucks. Obviously, they're going home early. Perks, the man of the hour, said, not the best showing from us this tournament. It was a great learning experience and showing us what we have to get better at. Kind of blows, but there are also a lot of positives. We were just slightly not good enough till next time. I definitely agree with this because, yes, there are some positives to take from this tournament. I'm glad that people are hyped up. I'm glad that people are happy and excited, but also just trying to be realistic. You know, I think World is going to be interesting. I hope that they can show up. I think C9, if they keep this form, if TL plays how they can, if TSM is able to level up at all, or maybe even 100 Thieves is able to come in and steal that third spot with Abadage coming in now, that NA could potentially have 3 solid teams at Worlds. And the fact that the NA regular season and playoffs were so close, and then Cloud9 goes and looks so good, maybe TL is pretty dang good after all. Maybe TSM and maybe 100 Thieves are actually pretty dang solid, and we might actually have a bunch of really good performances from NA teams at Worlds this year. You know, we'll have to see. It'll be interesting to see if Cloud9 comes back in the summer split being way more dominant, if they, you know, sometimes the teams that go to MSI start slow in the summer because there's so many games, the travel, the jet lag, the just kind of burnout, all that stuff. Luckily, they're not making it to the knockout stage, so they get home a little bit sooner so they can rest up, get ready for the summer split. Cloud9, the actual team, did tweet out, as our MSI run comes to an end, we'd like to thank all the support around C9 LOL, even the results were not as expected. A lot of the games came down to the wire, and despite not closing them out, we showed we can fight on the international stage. Definitely. And yes, like I said, I'm glad people are hyped up and excited. It was really fun, this tournament, to watch all these games where, yeah, Cloud9 was in them. They had a chance. There was suspense. It sucks that we didn't get to ride that suspense out going into the last day, but definitely some positives, definitely some takeaways. I'm glad they won some games, but I think people are overreacting about Cloud9 at this tournament a little bit, and I think they're also underrating and underreacting to NA's past performances. NA has had some good historical performances. They've maybe been few and far between, but they have happened in the past. NA has beat teams like Damwon and RNG before. They've lost close games to them before, and you know, they've lost to teams like Pentanet before too. I think this Cloud9 team was a lot more of a typical North American team than people want to admit for whatever reason. Also, metas change, the game changes. Comparing performances in Season 11 to performances in Season 4, 5, 6, when you're literally playing an entirely different game and metas are different, and how close games can or can't be is totally different, it's so hard to compare them. So anyone, you know, saying anything too definitively, I also think is just, you know, a little bit silly. But I just want to get my final thoughts and opinions out on this whole thing. Like I said, this is our kind of memoriam video for Cloud9. They did end the day kind of strong, obviously getting a win against Mad Lions, but that game didn't matter at all. They went 1-1 today. They go 3-7 overall. They do finish above Pentanet, but they do finish outside of the knockout stages. We will definitely be posting videos about my predictions, thoughts, breakdowns about the knockout stage later on in the week. Obviously, we have a couple of days to digest everything. But as far as NA, as far as Cloud9, just hold on. They're going home. Obviously, the Pentanet song, you know, they're going home too, but NA's going right along with them. Cloud9 knocked out of MSI. A lot of hot takes going on. A lot of people mad, upset. A lot of people excited for the future. It'll be interesting to see what is in store for NA and what's in store for Cloud9. Overall, decent showing, but they did come up short, and that's just the fact of the matter. But that is pretty much it for this video today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for watching. I would definitely appreciate it if you did drop a like on this video. Leave a comment down below. What are you taking away from this MSI? Is this a good showing for NA, a good showing for Cloud9? Does this have you hyped up and excited for Worlds, or does this have you feeling down? Are you down bad, feeling, you know, depressed about North American results once again? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on my latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. Go Mad Lions. But until then, peace!